Coming up on Your Money and Your Life, busting some myths about superannuation. The 3 greatest wealth winners on the Australian share market. How to recognise and change your beliefs about money. Plus, in Kochie's budget challenge, the savvy millennial who set us one of our hardest challenges yet. Hello and welcome to another episode of Your Money and Your Life, the show that's all about saving, spending, investing and enjoying your money. My mission is to make sure you make the very most of your money, that you're getting the very best deals on everything from home loans to credit cards to insurance. Today, we're kicking off with Kochie's Budget Challenge. Every week, with the help of the team at Compare the Market, we show real Aussies how to find better deals on their biggest bills and claw back up to thousands of dollars. Let's meet Hannah from Perth. Money-savvy millennial Hannah has set us a real challenge. At just 28, she's got her finances under control, including her mortgage. But are her bill smarts bang on, or could she do better? Wish me luck. Hannah, thank you for having us. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Hannah, I'm 28, born and raised in Perth. I'm a contracts coordinator.
Contract coordinator. That means someone that must be really organised. And you love a spreadsheet.
Yes, that's right.
I figured as much, so you'd be good with money.
Yeah, I hope so.
Right.
I did a business degree, so very much involved in business and love how it works. So always looking for a little saving here and there.
Give us Hannah's best budgeting tip or money saving tip.
Probably every year, look at your mortgage interest rates, look at anything that you're got to renew, even your mobile phone plan, suss it out, call them up and ask them for a better deal.
My wife would love you. That's exactly what she does. She has this mantra, never renew anything without checking that you're still on the best deal. And have you found it works? Have you found lots of little gems at times?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Even like buying your phone outright and using a SIM card instead of doing a prepaid plan or being on some sort of mobile plan. Sometimes they sting you for quite a lot.
You have a house at the moment. Mm-hmm. How long have you had that for? You're paying that off?
Yes, I've had that for 6 years now and I rent it out as an investment. Hopefully in the future I can have a second one.
So you're a real mogul. It's fantastic. You're so focused on the budgeting and saving, which is great. Do you have a partner?
I do.
Are they on the same page?
Yes, they are.
Ah, good, because that would be difficult if you're such a saver and focused on money and they're not. For a single woman, though, you really got to watch out on what's yours and what's theirs. Is that something that crosses your mind?
Absolutely. That's really important.
To make sure you keep your assets, despite the fact you're in a long-term relationship, that they're yours.
It's true.
It's been a tough challenge for us, let me tell you, because you're really good at managing the finances, but I think maybe we've found a few things. So let's go and sit down and go through it.
Let's do it.
Many people think their super balance stops growing after they retire, but that's just a myth. If your investment choices are right, your super could keep growing after retirement, even as you withdraw funds regularly. Many retirees convert their superannuation into an account-based pension, which offers a tax-free environment after they retire. While they make regular withdrawals, the rest of the funds remain invested. The secret is in their investment choices. Retirees could opt for a mix of growth assets like shares and property, or defensive assets like bonds and cash. Keeping some growth assets may generate higher returns, which can help your super to keep growing. While balances can go up and down depending on the markets, the key is to consider staying invested and understanding the magic of compound returns. It ticks over during your working life to grow your balance and may continue to build even after you retire. So don't believe the myth. Your super can still grow in retirement, but it's important to get good financial advice. After the break, the greatest wealth winners on the Aussie share market. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Now, more new investors are entering the stock market than ever before. Aussie shares remain attractive versus other investment options as dividends can power your returns. Almost $35 billion worth of dividends will be paid out to investors between August and October this year. That's up 5% on the same period last year. So what are some of the best stocks for you to invest in for the long term? For more on the greatest wealth winners on the Australian share market, I'm joined by Team Invest co-founder Mark Morland. Mark, that's the greatest wealth winners. How do you judge them?
A wealth winner is a company that is going to substantially improve your wealth over an extended period of time. So we work on a rolling 5 years,
right,
and we really like 10 years or more. So what we look for are companies where we have a very, very high probability that our total return is going to be close to 20% per year. There's lots of stuff out there that'll give you poor returns or you lose your money. So a wealth winner has to have delivered performance over the last 10 years as well.
All right, Mark, what are the 3 stocks that are the greatest wealth winners to buy now?
Well, the 3 stocks I'm going to talk about are ones I own and Team Invest members all own, and they have an outstanding history, and let's get into them.
Okay, first one?
It's Nick Scali.
Right.
So Nick Scali is
furniture retailer.
Right. They're not a typical furniture retailer. They have a very unique business model, and they actually get everyone to pay deposits, and they put the orders in and get the lounge suites manufactured. Then you pay the balance before they're delivered, so they don't have to finance anything, and they don't carry much stock, only what's on the showroom floor to demonstrate is what they do. Now, it's got a fantastic history, run by a family, and to give you on my point about past performance, Nick Scali has done 21.9% average for the last 10 years.
Per year?
Per year.
Wow. All right, number 2?
Okay, number 2 is ResMed. So ResMed is Australian global market leader in sleep apnea and treating sleep disorders. It's very much a growing market because of the wealth effect as different countries are becoming more wealthier. Sleep and quality of sleep becomes a big issue. So they've been growing extremely well. They did have a very strong pullback on their price because of the weight loss drugs that came in, and there was some reports saying that Ozempic and these other drugs would make people lose weight, and therefore their sleep apnea won't be as bad. The reality is that hasn't affected them at all, but it did affect the share price.
Okay.
So what it's meant now is it's actually quite reasonable.
Good buying opportunity.
Good buying opportunity now. And ResMed has done 21.1% average for the last 10 years. So these are proven performance I'm giving you. By the way, just so what that means, if you put $10,000 in on ResMed 10 years ago, you have $68,000.
Wow.
Now,
that's a good return.
Yeah.
Number 3?
Number 3 is Data3. DTL is the code. Data3 is an Australian tech company that's been around for, I think, probably 30 years, a long term. They've had an average return over the last 10 years, $113,000 for $10,000.
Right.
So it's had a return of 57%.
Wow.
Now, going forward, we think it's got to return at least 17.5%. Over the next 5 years.
So do you take into account dividends with these stocks as well as
yes
capital
and no.
growth?
They all 3 of them do pay dividends. ResMed is the smallest. So they're not big dividend payers, but we look at total return.
Right.
So what we're interested in is what am I going to get over in my total investment? Because a lot of times investors get suckered in by looking at the dividend only, and then they lose on the capital side.
Right.
So their value of their portfolio is going down whilst they're enjoying their dividends, but it's going down faster than the dividends they're receiving. So you really want both.
Yep. Mark Morland from Team Invest, appreciate it. Nick Scali, ResMed, Data3, wealth winners, 20% return for the foreseeable future that you can buy now. Mate, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
In this week's Word on the Street, we ask what you've been cutting back on to save money during the current cost of living crisis.
Yeah, I've definitely been cutting back on clothes shopping, I think. I'm visiting shopping centres a lot less.
I've been cutting back on coffee That is for sure. I always get iced coffee every single day, probably about 2 a day. So now I just go to the shops, buy in the bottles the iced coffee, and I just have that at home because it's just too expensive for me.
So I've been cutting back on alcohol and going out, finding that I've been having to work more so I can actually afford to be able to actually spend time with friends, and if it means, I guess, cutting back on the booze, well, I guess so be it.
Plus also spending money on theatre tickets, so that's where all my money goes.
It's had its pros and cons, maybe more pros, finding way cheaper options. I guess it's sort of been helping, value friendship more than, drinking and socialising in that sort of way.
I do definitely miss the coffee shops, but it's just, with the cost of living, it's easier for me just to get it from the shops and have it at home. So, yeah.
After the break, understanding your money mindset. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Well, today we're talking about your money mindset. That's your beliefs, attitudes and behaviours around money, which are often influenced by your family, your community, maybe teachers or even friends. A University of Melbourne study found almost 1 in 3 Australians are dissatisfied with their financial situation, and many find it overwhelming to even think about money. So are you stuck in a cycle of poor financial decision making? Well, you can fix this and change your money mindset for the better. For more, I'm joined by financial advisor Naomi Rosenthal. Naomi, how does a money mindset impact your financial decision making?
We've got to start right at the beginning of money mindset being really the unconscious beliefs around how we think about money. So it impacts all of our financial decision making, whether good or bad. We learn these behaviours or these scripts from a very young age through family and the environment that we grow up in.
Okay, so if you've got parents who are great savers, you pick that up.
Yep.
If you've got parents who are not great savers, are big spenders, you probably go down there. Or an uncle that goes, oh, you only ever invest in bricks and mortar. Are those the things that stick with you?
Absolutely. I catch myself these days, I'll say to my kids, I'm not made of money. And my daughter comes back at me and she says, but Mum, M-O-N, made of money. These sort of things that we grow up with, all these platitudes, money doesn't grow on trees, sets us up for our unconscious beliefs into the future.
So how can you change your money mindset that's so ingrained in you?
Well, the first thing is to recognise that we do have these unconscious beliefs. Think about what your parents said to you growing up. So ask yourself, what did I learn as a kid around money? What were those things? Then determine, are they good or bad? Have they set you up for positive money behaviours, or have they set you up for negative or bad money behaviours?
Okay, so then how can you develop good money behaviours? What's the starting point? Do you write them down? Is it like a mantra for you during the day?
You don't necessarily have to worry about behaviours per se, but I think it's about setting up habits and disciplines that will help you overcome some of the behaviours that you're not so satisfied with.
Like what?
So a spending plan. Yeah, if you're not very good at budgeting and you don't think about where your money goes, but you're constantly overspending, set a budget, put a spending plan in place and do your best to try and stick to it.
Right.
Set aside savings on a regular basis to support that so that you're actually putting aside money for the future.
And everyone goes through financial stress, don't they? Every single person. Can be debilitating, it can affect relationships. And often that's money mindset to get out of strife, isn't it? Being positive and proactive rather than being so scared you do nothing and paralysed.
Absolutely. Well, this sort of might be a mindset of avoidance, that you want to stick your head in the sand, you don't want to think about it, you want to not think about the consequences of any particular behaviours or actions, and whether it's stress-related from a particular episode or whether it's some of those unconscious beliefs, you're setting yourself up to really not deal with it because you're avoiding it. So you do need to open yourself to wanting to improve and make changes in your life.
So how do you learn a different money mindset? Is it from people you admire? Is it from sort of reading, books, all that sort of thing?
I think it's all of the above.
Right.
Yeah, find some people that have good money behaviours and figure out from them how they think about money and
Talk to them about it.
Yeah, talk to them about it.
Yeah.
This could be work colleagues, or it could be family, or it could be people in the world that you really admire.
Yep.
Reading books. There are incredible books out there around this. A really good one is Your Financial Health, Brad Klontz and Rick Kainer. They've written a whole book around the money scripts that we have.
Right.
There's a number of these books out there that can
And some
help.
great podcasts and the like.
Huge amount of
Huge amount.
podcasts.
Start to learn, then put them into practice. Naomi, thanks for your time. Appreciate your thoughts.
Lovely to be here. Thanks, David.
After the break, we return to Kochie's Budget Challenge to see if we can do one better than Savvy Hannah. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Let's return to Savvy Hannah, the money-minded millennial. Could we improve on her bills? The experts that compare the market ran the numbers and think she might be surprised. Savvy Hannah, let's get into the challenge. I've got to say, round of applause. You have done a great job. Bought a home at 22, still paying it off, but you've got that goal into the future. It's fantastic. So incredibly well done. You've got a great rate with your mortgage because you check it every year, don't you?
I do.
What's the biggest saving you've had from checking your mortgage each year?
Just changing around. Sometimes they give you some bonuses, which is pretty awesome, or they give you better packages.
Right.
So-
That's a good tip for everyone, isn't it? What's the next goal?
Probably buy another house in Perth, hopefully, and then do a bit of investing,
Right.
maybe a bit of travel. We'll see.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you've got so many options. That equity in the house, it gives you a great springboard to do other things and use it as collateral to invest elsewhere. Get good financial advice, of course. Can't do any better on the home line. But the Compare the Market team took a look at your health insurance, which you asked us to do and particularly focus on. Now, remember, these are thought starters, so you need to follow these up yourself and make your own decisions. So you're currently paying $218 a month. You don't need hearing aids. You do want orthodontics. We looked at a few options, and you could go for another policy that still gives orthodontic work, but is about $1,000 less over the year.
Oh, wow. That's a saving.
That's a good say. Look at your eyes light up with a saving like that. That's fantastic. But remember, if you want to up the limit, you may need to reset the waiting periods with the increased limit. So a few things to weigh up there, but the team reckon there's about $1,000 difference. Car insurance, you've just had your renewal, 12% increase.
I know.
Were you shocked at that?
I was so shocked.
What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you see 12%?
It's a big hit to the budget, you know. You think, where are you going to pull that money from?
Yep.
Right? It's scary.
And also, are we being conditioned, do you reckon, as Australians, inflation? So we go, 12%, that's because of inflation, blame inflation, and just accept it. Do you reckon that's a big mistake people are making?
I think so. I think people think, I haven't got the time to look.
Yep.
And, you know, this word inflation and cost of living is everywhere.
I know, it's a trap. It's a real trap for everyone at the moment. Look, in terms of the car insurance, you can weigh a few things up here. First, check what you're comfortable with. You can insure as agreed or market value. Now, agreed is the value that you and the insurer agree on and settle on for a replacement of the car if you need it. Market value can be more variable, but sometimes that can reduce your premium as well. So just work out what you're comfortable with. But looks like you're on a pretty fair deal at the moment in terms of car insurance, even with the 12% increase. Bottom line is, you are a really savvy millennial. So Look, I reckon you could claw back about $1,000 in total from your bills each year. But as a bit of a sweetener, surprise, and thanks for taking part in Kochie's budget challenge, the team at Compare the Market are going to match that $1,000 with another $1,000 towards your financial goals.
Oh, awesome.
You said you wanted to travel.
Yes.
So hopefully the $1,000 will get you somewhere exotic to pay off all the hard work.
Awesome. Thank
Good
you
on
so much. Hawaii, here I come.
Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Money and Your Life. For all the latest money and investment news you need to know, go to ymyl.com.au, and while you're there, subscribe to my free email newsletter, which is delivered to your inbox every Friday. Thanks for joining us. Next week on Your Money and Your Life, is property a good investment at these high interest rates? Tips on how to grow your super early in your career, and in Kochie's Budget Challenge, Adelaide's Lena and Dan wage war on their electricity bills.